And welcome everybody to our December coffee chat, our last coffee chat of 2022. We've had a full year of these meetings in this form, and it's been really great and exciting. And I want to thank all of you who have been attending, whether it's one coffee chat or all 12. It's been really great, and we're excited for the new year and what these chats will bring us. We are recording. These recordings go onto our website, and they will go out and follow up as well. And then I am turning on, it's changed. I'm turning on the live transcript. So if you need it, there should be a CC down at the bottom on your screen, and that will enable live transcript for you. These are our agreements we go through before each meeting. We practice active and empathetic listening and sharing, challenge the idea, not the person, be both teachers and learners. We take space and make space. The stories stay and the lessons leave. We use I statements. One person speaks at a time, and be here and present now. And we'll go ahead and do our welcome check-in question. Let us know your name, your location, and what you're looking forward to in the new year. I can go ahead and start. I'm Laura Jackson. I'm the Director of Communities for PFCC Partners. I'm located in very chilly this morning, Eugene, Oregon. And I am looking for, I feel like this next year is going, no, I'm gonna jinx it, probably is going to be a refresh, a restart for everyone with putting all the bad stuff behind us. So here's to 2023. I'll go down my list over here, and I'll start with Rosie.
Hey, I'm Rosie Bartell. I'm a patient advisor, a patient partner. I'm located in Wisconsin, and it's very cold here today too. And we had snow the last couple of days, so we have quite a bit of snow. And what I'm looking forward to in the new year is keeping connected with old friends, but also being developing new connections. And the likelihood is that I am going to be making some international connections that I'm looking forward to, and maybe presenting at the IHI International Forum in May. So
cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, so that is very exciting. So
awesome. I'm excited to see that. Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily Newberry. I work in person and family center care for the Kaiser Permanente Northwest region. I'm in Happy Valley, Oregon. I love that name.
It's the best.
It's not the most inclusive little town, and I don't actually live in it, but that's where my address is. And this year, I see some just really exciting changes at Kaiser Permanente. I've got some new colleagues with expanded roles in service and care experience. And I'm just really looking forward to getting to know them and how my role in bringing the patient voice on board can work with theirs in connecting with leadership and frontline staff. And anyway, I'm just very excited.
Thank you. That does sound exciting. And we passed a sign for Happy Valley on the way to the airport a few weeks ago, and it made me happy when it passed by. Happy Valley. Linda.
I'm Linda Ewell, and I'm in Oak Park, Michigan. I work with Corewell Health, and I'm looking forward to, in the new year, getting involved in more opportunities to advocate for patients and their voice in their care.
That's great. Thank you, Linda. Thanks for joining us. Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby Kramer. I apologize for not having my camera on. I've been sick the last few days, and you don't want to see what's on the other side of the screen. So I work with WellSpan Health in South Central Pennsylvania. I'm in Dallastown, which is actually York County for the York County coffee person in Wisconsin. I thought that was pretty cool. What I'm looking forward to in this upcoming year is working to make those marginalized communities more visible, more heard, and more central in the care that we're providing.
Thank you. You're all doing very important work here. Thank you. Bobby.
Hi, I'm Bobby Reed, and I reside here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'm looking forward to in the new year finding my son another living donor kidney transplant person to donate him a kidney. I'm also looking forward to more in-person meetings with all the various organizations and agencies relating to kidney issues, so that I can further extend my reach to helping people in my local community in the Pennsylvania area in their navigation of learning more about kidney disease and trying really to eliminate it, to help people in, communities that just don't know anything about it. So I find these meetings very informative. I always pick up something positive that I can take back with me and share with others. But I'm looking forward to the new year with our meetings here too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, we're excited for in-person meetings too. And I feel like you just get so much more when you're in person. So thanks for sharing. Let's see here. Valencia.
Valencia, can you hear
I
us?
was
There.
Oh,
Yes, yes,
there you go.
yes. I'm driving home, but it's good. I'll be home in a second and I can go on camera, but I am excited to be here today. We met Dave through some work that we've been doing together over the past 6 months. So Dave, thank you for introducing us to this group. And for the new year, I haven't really thought about it. I'm turning 50 next week. So I'm just grateful. Yes, I'm just grateful to be turning 50, because when I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 33, my oncologist told me that I probably wouldn't live 5 years.
Wow.
So I'm grateful to have made it 16 years survivor. And I'm going to give some thought to, I just want to keep living and peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace in the world. That's what I'm looking forward to. Just peace in my life in the new year.
I love that. Well, congratulations and happy birthday. You've got, I don't know if you can see, but you've got lots of hearts and clapping emojis.
Yes,
for you.
I see. I'm at a red light. Yes.
So awesome.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Lindsay. I'm located in Sacramento, California. And I love a new year because I feel like it's just a fresh new start. So that's what I'm looking forward to most, is just kind of a refresh after the holidays. But I too am looking forward to more in-person meetings next year, and more specifically our PFCC conference. I'm really looking forward to that and seeing everyone there.
Yes, I'm excited for that too. Thank you. Libby, are you able to come on?
I am. Good morning, everybody. So happy for all the things you guys are looking forward to, and so glad to have this presentation today. And Dave, it's always just awesome to hear your voice. So thank you for making time for us. What am I looking forward to? I think the in-person is definitely resonating with me. I just want to reconnect with people, but I also want to form more deep connections within this beautiful community that we have here at the PFA Network. I think we have such a wide variety of folks, and I would just love to spend more time exploring and building relationships with those that I haven't gotten a chance to quite yet, and continue to sustain the great relationships I have with those that we have been together for a while. So I think that's it for me.
All right, thank you.
And I apologize for being phone only. I had to solve a quick family emergency with the keys in the wrong place, if you know what I mean.
Yes, all good, all good. Ashley.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Had a little award ceremony for my kiddos at school today. So, and I apologize. So my name's Ashley. I live in Vegas, in Henderson specifically. What am I looking forward to? I'm turning the big 4-0 next year, which is quite scary, but we are celebrating with a trip to Belize with two of my girlfriends and their husbands who are turning 50. So I am very much looking forward to that trip since we haven't been able to travel for quite a while. So, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that in June.
Awesome. That sounds exciting. And Dave.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be back at the coffee chat. I haven't been able to attend for about 2 years because I'm part of a patient advisor group in a clinical trial, and we have our patient advisor meetings at the exact same time every month. So this is a good reason to be pulled from one good meeting to another good meeting. To speak to the power of the PFA network, this connection was made between the Light Collective and the PFA network thanks to Mike Middleman, who many of you know. And I think he introduced me to the PFA network. He's good at introducing people to other people.
He is.
I live in Prince George's County in Maryland, born and raised in New York City. And I'm also not only looking forward to traveling next year, but I received my kidney transplant in 2015. And the next year, I went back home, and on 125th Street in Harlem, I bought a hat that said Harlem. Since then, me and the hat have gone to 21 different states, 24 if you count airports, 25 if you count like train stations too. And next year, my hat and I were already confirmed to travel to Arizona, and looking forward to hopefully visiting Washington, and maybe if I'm, Oregon's right next door. And I really hope I can attend the PFPC conference this year as well.
Yeah, we hope you can too. Thanks for sharing. And Andrea.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Downing. I am co-founder of the Light Collective, and I am actually, Laura, also hailing from Eugene, Oregon. And I was really pleasantly surprised to hear we have a few Oregonians here. And Dave, it's kind of serendipitous. First of all, Mike Middleman is part of the board of the Light Collective. So I want to thank him for that introduction. I want to thank you, Dave, because you've been part of this coalition for the last year as we've thought about digital rights and governance of patient communities and healthcare technology. So we're going to talk about that today, but what am I looking forward to in the next year? Well, I have a 7-year-old, and I think I'm really looking forward to, this has just been a wonderful age, and coming through the pandemic, just little things that we took for granted in 2020 and 2021. I'm looking forward to enjoying things that we couldn't do before. And I'm also really looking forward to meeting new patient leaders and activists. My patient story, like Valencia, I come from the breast cancer community. However, I'm a BRCA1 pre-vivor. So my family has the genetic condition, and I went through the preventative surgeries after my mother was diagnosed, like Valencia, with stage 3B breast cancer when she was 33. So I am here because I want digital rights for patient communities and to further our mission. And yeah, we'll talk about that more, but it's really nice to meet everybody. And whoops, I got a little, all of a sudden the sunlight came right onto, like it's just rising up here. It's getting a little brighter. Yeah, I'm gonna move. And there's Mike. Hey,
Oh,
Mike.
there's Michael.
Michael, your ears are burning?
We're just finishing up introductions, Michael. If you, oh, it doesn't look like he's on audio quite yet. We'll go ahead and keep on moving. And Andrea, you can take it away.
Sure. And I want to start with,
Hey guys, can you hear me?
yeah, I was going to say,
I'm
Mike,
sorry.
do you want
My
to
ears were
say
burning.
hello?
Hi. Sorry, go ahead, guys. Don't let me stop you. Yeah.
Well, no, before we go forward, so we were just going around and saying where we're hailing from, you know, kind of a little bit of our patient story and what we're looking forward to in the new year.
Oh, cool. So let's see, I'm not sure who's on the call today, but I know some of the folks that sometimes join chats. But yeah, it's Mike Middleman. I'm coming in from Philly, and let's see, I do a lot of kidney disease work, rare kidney disease stuff, and dialysis, transplant. I've had 3 kidney transplants and started as a peds patient. I have a rare kidney disease and some other chronic diseases, and I work in right now I work in cybersecurity, and I run an organization called the American Living Organ Donor Fund that I founded, and I'm on the board of the Light Collective. I'm the board secretary, so I'm excited for this to be happening today. These worlds to be colliding. This is very fun, and helped share the message with Dave, and he got really excited and got involved. So this is awesome. I'm very excited to have all this happening today. So that's me. I'm a part of the PFA network also. There you go.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. So we have 4 of us from the Light Collective on, and I definitely don't want to be speaking the whole time, you guys. So I would love to kind of tag team and talk a little bit about this, but I'll give the quick introduction, and thank you for including this slide. Our mission statement at the Light Collective is we're on a mission to represent the collective rights, voices, and interests of patient communities in healthcare technology. And our story, our origin story, began in 2018 after Cambridge Analytica. And I, like many other patient communities, had a wonderful, thriving support group that I was a moderator of, along with many other leaders in the BRCA community. But after Cambridge Analytica, if you guys are familiar with that kind of background, there was a big scandal on how data was being scraped from Facebook in order to allow third parties to create these data sets that could be used to target people, not only target people, but psychologically profile people in ways that we're not aware of or without our consent. And I thought, this does not sound good for patients if we are on a social network. You know, what could happen with a Facebook group? So at the time, the story goes, I didn't know I was hacking, but I started to do some security research. And I have this background in technology, started looking at APIs, and I basically wrote out some of the things that we had found and brought it to experts in the healthcare community, but eventually to Facebook. Fast forward a year, we had navigated, as Mike knows well, and part of his origin story in cybersecurity, coming together with us in crossing this path. For me, it was a true crash course in cybersecurity. I didn't know the first thing about, you know, how we take issues or vulnerabilities and disclose those to companies. And I didn't know how to affect change. We took a complaint to the FTC. We took our issues to Facebook. In 2019, it didn't get fixed fully. It only got partially fixed. And then a pandemic happened. As we moved forward, we created this organization because we realized, okay, this isn't just going to be something where it's like, okay, we have a hole that gets closed and we're just done and all the problem is solved. We're realizing as we face this tsunami of technology and other social media platforms that have problems, our grassroots patient communities really do need to organize around collective rights. So with support from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation over the last year, we began to work on 7 principles for collective rights with representation, not only from our coalition and our community leaders that included Dave and our co-founder Valencia, Jill Holderin, who's not here, but then our board members, along with Mike. We've really banded together to build what we think needs to happen and what's missing when it comes to our collective digital rights. So I'm going to actually kick it over to Dave, if I may put you on the spot a little bit, because we met you in early 2022, and I was just I want to thank you so much because you've brought your incredible mind, your passion, your challenging of our thinking to all of this, and it's just been such a fruitful partnership to work with you on how we organize towards collective rights for these patient communities on social media and other places. But let me ask you, what has been your experience and what have been your thoughts as we've navigated this year?
It's kind of been, I guess I'm not muted. Yeah, I'm not muted. All right. It's been like a real evolution. It's really been an eye opener. I have a background in information technology myself. My last position in the corporate world before my kidneys failed, I was an IT manager for a law firm. So, I know firsthand the importance of data and more importantly, when data gets into the wrong hands. It's in that realm, it can cost a lot of money and a lot of brand integrity, but in our world, it can cost lives. And one thing I've just realized kind of immediately is that we as patients, we've kind of been conditioned to signing our rights away. In hospitals, whenever you get medical care, you basically you have to sign your rights away or you're not going to get care. That's the bottom line. And when we go over to like the non-HIPAA side of things, like social media and digital apps, where until recently, and Andrea, if I'm wrong, please correct me, but I think we've, thanks to the Light Collective, we've made inroads in this area, but until recently, when you go over to the non-HIPAA side of like social media and like apps, health apps on your phone where HIPAA doesn't apply, we sort of have been conditioned to just giving those rights away as well. And, that's kind of what we're about, to shine light on.
Street? Yeah, Juniper Street. Yeah, Juniper.
Mike, honey, you need to go on mute.
I got it.
I just as a person who has used the internet, social media exhaustively to learn about my condition, how to help others, how to learn more. I've not only said yes and agreed probably thousands of times and given away so much of my data to do that. It's not too late to turn the tide. And that's kind of what, the Light Collective is trying to do. It's never too late. And as Andrea and Valencia and Mike will share, the Light Collective, just in the short time that I've been involved, we've made some great inroads in that direction. We're being noticed by some really important people. And I'll just say that this has just been a wonderful co-creative work. And it's just working with a fantastic group of advocates. And I'm looking forward to what happens in 2023 and beyond.
I couldn't thank you enough, Dave. And thank you for that kind background. Laura, you have this slide up, and basically this shares what we think our vision is. And I could read this to you, but Dave, I think you stated it really well. Too often we sign our rights away as communities when more and more the healthcare industry is making billions of dollars off of our data, while we are being put at risk in ways that could actually cause us harm. And we see these as not only patient safety issues, we see this as, it's kind of like the internet is still the Wild West, right? And outside of HIPAA covered entities, we've got these lawless places where there are truly good actors working on things like better infrastructure and interoperability so that we can have access to our data. But there are also really bad actors out there that are using our data to broker it, to sell it, to exploit our privacy, to target us with ads and misinformation. And just like we have governance of our collective spaces in the physical world, the idea here is we should stop signing our rights away as communities and think about what our governance and rights should be in these ungoverned spaces, and how we can, as patient communities that have these incredible powerful networks changing healthcare, we need to be able to protect and to steward our digital selves and our digital communities just the way we steward our physical communities with governance. So with that, I do have slides, Laura, if you like. I know this is coffee chat, so I would much rather just keep this a conversation. But I can dive into some of the slides or some of the things we've been doing this year. Exciting highlights are, we got a peer-reviewed paper that ended up creating a big investigation around third-party trackers. And Valencia and some of the people in the breast cancer community were a huge part of that, where we downloaded our raw data. We looked at companies that were tracking us across the internet. And that's been one of the big success stories where not only did we provide evidence, there were 4 follow-up investigations that have now led to breach notifications from major hospitals that were illegally sharing data back with Meta from patient portals, and doing so with not only without consent, but in a way that may yield some new congressional inquiries, so to speak. So it's been kind of exciting. Valencia, I'm going to hand it over to you because, and then maybe Mike, I don't know if you're speakable or you're still kind of looked like you were in transit or walking somewhere. But Valencia, do you want to share a little bit of?
Hey, can you guys hear me or not?
Now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, sweet. Okay, awesome. So I do have to run, but I wanted to say something really quickly, which is that, I think one of the things that I often think about when I, you know, it's not just for-profit companies that we're kind of on a mission to try to stand better. One of the things that Dave and I talk about a lot is that there's a lot of nonprofit bad actors that we really trust, right? And so this is a whole part of the world that make tech, right, and create patient communities and want our data. But then there's a lot of big for-profit companies that make apps that they want us to use, right? And Dave knows a number of them that I'm talking about that live in like the transplant world, and they ask us to download apps. So it comes from all over. I just wanted to point that out. Like, it's not always, you know, on these big kind of apps that everybody hears about in the news, right? It really comes from all over, that we're trying to learn how to build this community framework and educating different communities about that. And I just want to say that also, one thing that I think is really important about our mission is that some people out there some of you may look at our website and think that this isn't for you because it's maybe certain people in like cancer communities. That couldn't be further from the truth. So our community advisory board should kind of, you know, make that transparent. But just wanted to share that with everybody. I got to run, so please reach out to me if you guys have any questions. Dave and everybody have my information. All right, gang.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a wonderful day.
You know, this is Libby. Could I just ask, because Mike's bringing up a really good point, and I am, apologies, so tech novice, and I recognize, I see what you're talking about in terms of signing our lives away, you know, first forced to in the health system, and then by using apps and whatnot. Can you draw me a picture of how Dave made a really strong statement to say this is costing lives? Can you just help me understand? You talked about API. I'm not really sure. Like, I would just love a concrete kind of example to help me attach to the content.
Yeah. So
maybe I'm the only one that needs that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. So I'm going to add a couple of links. And I think what would help right now is, let me start with, I'm going to share some slides, and then I'm going to share the answer to that. And I'm sorry, was that, who was that? Emily? Libby. Okay.
Oh, that was Libby Hoy, founder and CEO. Yeah.
Okay, so Libby, the answer with specific examples, I'm going to share my DEF CON talk from last year. And it goes into the examples of Tammy Dobbs, who was a patient in Arkansas that saw her data. Basically, the way we think about predictive algorithms in healthcare and the spread of predictive algorithms and where the data from those algorithms come from, make decisions about our lives, our livelihoods, who can get care, who can get jobs, how much we pay for care. And in this DEF CON talk, what I do is I share how data is gathered about us from all of these different sources. And, you know, there's a huge economy around the data that is being not only shared by hospital systems and digital health companies about populations, but a lot of the sources of the data are opaque to us. They come from these black box algorithms, sometimes that are sourced from social media data. So what are the ways that it could cost lives? Well, if you are posting on social media, let's take the Dobbs decision, for example, and how now after Dobbs was announced earlier this year, if you are a pregnant woman with cancer and chemo and you need care, you might need chemo, and you're posting about this on social media, it's something that can be used against you in ways that are not apparent to people. But there are now a lot more cases, a lot more examples of women who are posting on social media about their conditions and getting arrested if they're seeking abortion care due to a health condition or something else. So, you know, that would be one example. Another example, back to the woman in Arkansas, her name is Tammy Dobbs. No coincidence, there is a coincidence there, but her situation was the state had developed an algorithm with a lot of black box data to determine who could get care and who was eligible for certain types of services. But after independent validation of that algorithm, the state realized that not even the own developer understood how the care rationing was doling out decisions about Tammy. And before she had at-home care, that was, you know, a very easy thing to get. But when these algorithms came along, she had to ration when she could go to the bathroom and when she could eat. And I would give a third example that's continuing to happen, and we're seeing a lot of stories about people who are being denied in the chronic pain community pain medication because of their risk of opioids. And the question, I'll give the last example, which is there was a highly inaccurate sepsis algorithm that Epic developed. And I think Stat News did an investigation where the claims of that algorithm and the sources of those data were not only unclear, they were overstating the efficacy of that algorithm to predict sepsis. And so doctors were using this to determine who would, you know, get discharged or stay in the hospital for more care. So when these predictive models, and that's something I come from as a pre-viver, having lived and breathed predictive algorithms and wanting good evidence, you know, reproducibility in science, and making sure that there's transparency around how those data not only are gathered about us, but how it's used to make decisions about our health and our care and our lives. That is where the broader picture of our system is not only unapparent to the average patient signing away their rights, it's also something that we need to organize and affect change around through this concept of governance and healthcare technology. Does that help? And I know that was a long answer. Yeah, would you like to add?
That helps so much to just connect the dots for me. And I think I'm so grateful to your organization for shedding light on this and educating us, because like you just said, I think I'm an average patient, and I don't see all of that going on. And so I just really appreciate the work that you're doing and the explanation. Thanks for the education.
And I want to add something here. This is Valencia. You're breaking up a little, Libby, but we heard you. We heard you. But I want to add. I want to add another piece to this, and it's not just in the healthcare system, right? The artificial intelligence and the predictive algorithms. It's in your jobs, it's in education, it's in housing and employment, it's in credit. And for African Americans, it's really becoming very discriminatory with these predictive algorithms. You know, I am a breast cancer survivor, but from the work that we've been doing at the Light Collective, I've just learned so much about every detail of my life and my children's lives, because my sister's also a survivor. You know, how things will impact my children based on these predictive algorithms as it relates to their health, their jobs. And it's just so many aspects of this work that we're doing that relates. So I wanted to add that.
Thank you for that, Valencia. I would say that, we often also don't realize the way that data can be used to harm us because we're often focused in research. We as patient advocates, we realize that we need to move research forward. We need to change healthcare, and we do that through evidence and data. So we're definitely an organization that wholeheartedly embraces the good type of data sharing. But what we learned the hard way, and by the way, Valencia, you're a school teacher. You had no background in technology when you started this, and you are leading the way. I want to make sure we make space to say you don't have to be a hacker, techie, cybersecurity expert in order to be part of this mission. What we're working to do is create these resources, educational materials, a coalition that helps us share knowledge and helps our communities kind of share intelligence about this stuff so that we can move forward together. And with that, if I may, I'm going to just maybe share a few slides to say, like, okay, we gave kind of the background story, but I'm just going to go through, like, here was our year this year. And I'm so proud of it. Laura, going back to what you were saying, what do I look forward in the next year? It's how we find the next cohort, the next generation of leaders in communities that we can serve, and how we can not only share out this message, but have an impact. So this was our coalition this year. If you go to the lightcollective.org and look under About Us, you can read everybody's biographies. You might recognize some of the faces here. And as Mike was sharing, we did start in the breast cancer community, right? And it was kind of like ground zero of the place where we saw a problem and needed to organize to do something. But as Mike said, we are definitely inclusive and want to create these resources to serve communities that are also impacted by the problems that we're trying to solve. So, here's just a couple of pictures over the last couple of years.
We're not seeing anything, Andrea.
Yeah. Oh,
it's just loading. Yeah.
Let me
And while she's doing that, I'm going to say this because she probably will.
You see it?
Yeah, we got it. Okay.
Go ahead, Valencia.
Oh, well, it went away, Andrea.
It did.
Yeah,
it's a white screen now.
It's a white
Does
screen.
my screen resume share?
But we're looking for people like you, Libby. Hopefully you're still on, who do not understand fully, right? So you would be a great person to join possibly our next cohort of individuals so that you can learn all the things, right? We're going to have an application process so that those who want to learn, who want to be involved, can do the modules that we have created, right? So now we have modules created so that we can really help people understand a lot of these concepts. So, but now Andrea's ready.
Really quick, Laura, I'm going to turn to you because it looks like in Zoom settings, the second I go to full screen, it pauses share. And I think that's in like one of the config settings in there, but we could just go from this as well. Let me, so here's our coalition. I was just going to share a couple of pictures of, let me just try to share one more time. Pause share. And let me go to full screen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
We look good.
Well, don't we? Okay, so I just wanted to share a few pictures, and here you see Valencia, Mike, and I at DEF CON. DEF CON is the largest cybersecurity / hacker conference. Now, I want to be clear, and now in the world of hackers, there are white hats and black hats. Our purpose is to be the white hats in healthcare technology. And our goal in coming to this conference was to speak from the perspective of patient communities whose lives are on the line. We spoke about our first paper that got published, and we had a huge impact at this conference, not only sharing our message over here on the right. We were at National Health Policy Conference, and we're very, very honored and proud to have Dr. Maya Rockymore Cummings, who is the widow of Elijah Cummings, as one of our advisors. She does see this as one of the most important civil rights issues of our time. When we think about healthcare tech and citing our rights away as communities. We did once again, I shared the link to the paper that we developed, and give me 1 second. Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm presenting. Could I? Yeah.
Is it loud in here?
Yeah, it's a little loud. Okay. Sorry. Working from home. Husband's getting snacks. Anyway, here's our paper. Well, this was the grand rounds that we did on disinformation, and going back to that question we asked of how can this cost lives? How many of you have been on social media since 2015? I'm getting people, like half of you are raising your hands. Okay. So I don't know if you remember, but when early 2012, 2014, social media was a magical and very good place for patient communities on the internet. And then something changed. Suddenly we got bombarded with, in the breast cancer community, not only chemo ads, but snake oil, grifters, all kinds of bad stuff. Like, when we think about making sure that these communities are protected, another way that your data can be used to target you on social media is, while we in this group are, a lot of really smart, savvy advocates, patients who are coming through their diagnosis for the first time often don't realize that they can be targeted with medical misinformation, ivermectin ads. There's a reason why, there were autism communities drinking bleach, and that's because they were being targeted and kind of furthered themselves into being radicalized by information that was, toxic and not based or grounded in evidence. So, there's a whole cornucopia of ways that this data that we generate as communities can be used, not only to target us, to deny us care, to charge us the most amount of money for the least amount of care, to deny jobs, and on and on. One of the big impacts we had after publishing our peer-reviewed paper was we started seeing news outlets take notice of our work and do follow-up investigations. So there was a big investigation by the Markup that looked at hospital patient portals. I think I mentioned before, illegally sharing data back to Facebook and other third parties. And this is a safety alert that got issued on October 31st, where now we're seeing hospitals send out notices of data breaches because of the work that we did. We are now looking at the next phase of our growth. But what that's been over the last year is we started with town halls, just talking to communities and coming to these different forums like we're doing right now. We did a big report out of our findings in October. Our coalition that we developed had bi-weekly meetings that each of us joined in order to develop not only our strategic plan, but 7 principles for collective digital rights. So if you go on our website, go to lightcollective.org/trust. If you want to see the principles we developed and some of the guides, those are resources that we want other patient communities to have in their hands as they're thinking about technologies or entrepreneurs that are approaching you and saying, hey, sign up for our service. We need to start thinking twice about that and making sure that there's an actual representation of the interests of patient communities. So I'm going to stop with the slides. And we've got about 6 minutes left, but let's just, I'll open it up for discussion because that's where we are and thinking about next year. I think the call to action here would be, we're looking for a way to expand our coalition, to serve new communities, and to shape the next phase of this organized collective working to develop collective self-governance. By the way, our guiding principle is no aggregation without representation. So
I love that. Well, thank you, Andrea, Valencia, and Dave. This was really informative, and I look forward to where you all go in the future. Rosie's got her hand up. Go ahead, Rosie.
And I shared a little bit of this in the chat, but you know, back in 2017 and 2018, there was a lawsuit against 3M about bear huggers, and all of a sudden, I was being told that my story was being used by lawyers all over the country, and basically saying, you know, that they had researched it, they knew I had used, that a bear hugger had been used in my surgery, and that's how I got my infection. Now, you know that I will tell you, everybody this, that I don't know how I got MRSA. I will never know how I got MRSA. You know, my whole theory is that my story is that I want to make sure nobody else gets it. But you know, it was, and I was told. So then I sought out one of these attorneys, and they said, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Your story is public knowledge, and as far as we're concerned, as long as your story is public knowledge, we can use it. And I said, but it makes it sound like I'm in this lawsuit, and I'm not. I'm not suing anybody. That's not my nature. But yet, if you can even go on the internet now and you will find stories of my story looking like I sued 3M.
Wow. I mean, that's a whole angle of, you know, as advocates, we share our stories,
right,
because we want this to be better for other people. But then, you know, we don't want to have our stories used for the benefit of lawyers and lawsuits without our knowledge or consent. I mean,
right.
I think for me, it was reaching a breaking point where we're, as patient advocates, not only used as stepping stones, but we often do this work with the best of intentions, because not only do we want to heal ourselves, we want to heal other people that need better options going through this path. But we should have rights to collective rights to our, not only our stories, but the data that we share, and have it used in ways that requires permission from us, you know. And this is such a complicated issue. I'm not going to pretend like I know all the answers, or I mean, you're educating me on something I never would have thought about. And I think there are just so many different dimensions of how we need to think about collective representation and making sure that we're not being used, or at the very least having data used against us.
Yeah, and it was interesting because there was nothing I could do about it, because part of it was because I had done a video with IHI that was on YouTube. And so basically, once it was on YouTube, that became public entity. And,
Yeah.
you know, unless I wanted to go out and sue a million lawyers, which didn't make any difference. and you know, it's interesting how they can use one, you know, how they picked up on my story and just used it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that happened, Rosie, and I would love to talk further and, you know, welcome you to join the Light Collective, and we continue to share these stories and examples because we need to have our voices heard.
Right.
Well, with that, I'll hand it back to Laura. We're right at the top of the hour and, you know, almost done with my coffee here, but just want to thank everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And with this last minute or so, I do we have a couple of engagement opportunities we wanted to share with those in the network that are still on today. So we have the, first of all, the 2023 Person and Family Engagement Cost Measures Field Testing Feedback Survey. That's a long title, but this is just from CMS and Acumen. You all may be familiar with both of those organizations from past engagement opportunities, but they are field testing new episode-based cost measures in 2023. And as part of that, they are looking for feedback from patients and families on the measures, so the draft measures. So keep a lookout for that. That is open January 17th through February 14th. We, of course, will be sending out to all of you in the PFA network. And then those are the 5 episode-based cost measures that they're testing. So we've got kidney transplant management, prostate cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic kidney disease, and end-stage renal disease. So
Laura, if we were part of one of those, will we continue to be part of one of those?
yes. So we will be continuing those focus groups as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, we don't need to reapply for this.
No, this is a different.
So I need to reapply for that.
No, you do not need to reapply for it. Okay. We'll be in contact with you soon for that.
Okay.
Yes. We also have HCIF, the Healthcare Improvement Foundation, are holding their collective in March next year. They are looking for patient-family partners with experience in shared decision-making around either statins, cardiovascular care, and or chronic conditions in general. They are holding their virtual collaborative, and they are looking for the patient-family partner to possibly join a clinician to kind of have a discussion about shared decision-making around those things. So if you're interested, my email's there on the screen. Feel free to email me.
Okay.
And then one more, we have another patient panel on perspectives in advancing telehealth and virtual healthcare for older adults. So this is with West Health. They're looking for 3 to 4 patient family partners. They're also holding a virtual panel, and the objective is to learn about personal values of telehealth from the patient family partner panelists. So they're looking for folks that are 65 and older. They've used telehealth in some capacity, and that you can, or if you've been or you have your caregiver of someone with these demographics on the screen. So post-acute long-term care, skilled nursing facility resident, and caregiver assistance, or if you're a caregiver, like I said, that helps someone deliver telehealth. Oh, I didn't put my email on this one, but you can definitely email me for this one as well. And that is it. Thank you again, Andrea and Dave and Valencia and Mike. I know Valencia and Mike had to hop off, but thank you so much. We'll get your links out in follow-up. We'll also get this recording out in follow-up as well. So Andrea, do you mind putting your email in the chat so if folks have questions, they can let you know? Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you, Laura. And now that I know you are in the same town, we gotta get the holiday market. Let's
yes, that might be this weekend.
That's a
All right.
Eugene thing.
Well, thank you, everybody, and happy holidays, and we'll see you all next year.
Bye-bye.
Holidays, everyone.